Hello, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to the Unicorn Challenge, probably one of my favourite elements of the Women in Payments Symposia. I've had the great pleasure of witnessing these amazing entrepreneurs, these female champions in the industry who actually not only saw a gap in the market, but woke up one day going, you know what, I'm going to do something about that. We have the most incredible entrepreneurs for you today, and I'm very excited to introduce them to you. But let me just, before we get into introducing you to judges and competitors, let me just tell you a little bit about the Unicorn Challenge. This is about the prize. So the winner will basically receive a 60-minute audience with sponsor executives, which will be tailored to the purpose of the fintech. So basically, their role will be to provide objective feedback on the winner's concept. And when I talk about those organizations, I mean ACI Worldwide, Amex, Barclays, Deloitte, HSBC, JP Morgan, Lloyds, MasterCard, NatWest, PayPal, Santander, Taylor Wessing, Western Union, and Worldline. I mean, what an amazing prize. So this is going to be judged by an esteemed panel of judges, and I'm very excited to introduce them to you. I'm going to invite the judges now, if you would, to switch your cameras on and to remove the mute. And just while people are doing that, we're going to be joined by Dana Eddy-Lork, who's from American Express, Karen Penny from Western Union, and Lisa Coleman from Worldline as well. So cameras are being lit as we speak, which is fantastic. So Karen, I tell you what, can I come to you first of all? And if I could just invite you, please, to introduce yourself to the audience. And I'm really keen to know why this matters for you.
Absolutely, thank you. Delighted to be here. I agree it's going to be a very exciting afternoon. So my name is Karen Penny. I'm the Vice President of Payment Products at Western Union. Been in financial services for a long time, including the likes of NatWest and American Express. So great with another Amex colleague here. I'm excited about this because this is the future, really, isn't it? These fintechs are challenging all of the established players, and it's great to see the ideas and to see those ideas really brought to life. So looking forward to a great afternoon of new ideas and judging.
Wonderful. Well, listen, thank you so much for giving the time and to being here. And I can't wait also because I know there are some rigorous questions from judges. There always are. So I suspect we've got a pretty good lineup here. Lisa, can I come to you next? I'd love to hear, first of all, a little bit about your role and your organisation.
So I'm Lisa Coleman. I'm the, can you hear me? Oops. Yeah, I'm Lisa Coleman. Yes. I'm the Group Operational Performance Director for Worldline. Hopefully you'll know that in 2020 we had a very exciting year when we finished the acquisition of Ingenico. So you also see the Ingenico, a Worldline brand as well. For me, this brings everything that I've done through my whole career together when we start talking about fintech. You know, my background actually is in technology, and I get a real buzz from how do we use technology to help our customers advance their businesses. So I'm so looking forward to hearing the ideas and the pitches from the ladies today. And it isn't even better when it's a bunch of ladies pitching those ideas as well, because I'm so used to sitting in meetings full of men that to be in such an esteemed company today is just truly thrilling. So thank you for inviting me to my first judging pitch, and I'm really looking forward to this afternoon.
Fantastic. I love the way that Karen smiled when you made that reference to usually what do you get across your desk day by day by day. Now, Dana, I know we're having a few, considerations with your audio. So I'm looking forward to seeing you a bit later on. I know that the team at Women in Payments are working very hard with you to get that sorted out. One of the interesting issues is it tends to be around which browser and also corporate firewalls and that sort of thing. But the team at Women in Payments are working exceptionally hard to get all of those technical requirements set up and also addressed at the last minute. So listen, what I will do now, if you don't mind, is Karen, Lisa, invite you please to switch off your cameras. We're going to invite you back later on. I'm going to move on with the program, and yes, we're going to see some competitors come up very, very soon. So we've got three stellar women who have basically taken the inspiration and also the effort, the energy, and the relentless passion that you would expect in order to set up businesses. I'm going to invite them now, if you would, ladies, to switch on your cameras and remove your mute, because we have three competitors: Turin Diku from AIM, Karen Rudich from Elementary B, and Christina Villa from Cledara. Wonderful to see you. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. So, Turin, let me come to you first of all. Looking forward to you. You're ready to go. You're all raring to go.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you, Julia.
Hello, everyone.
And we'll look forward to your pitch shortly. I'm just going to very quickly so everybody can see you and they know who you are, and then we'll get into the pitches a little later. So Karen, great to see you. And also it's a last minute sound check as well. But
yes.
it's great to see you. How are you doing?
Great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited and nervous.
Perfect. And Christina, if I could ask you the same thing, it's great also to see you as well.
Yeah, it's great to be, able to be part of this. It's amazing. Thank you.
So we know the technical works. We know that the sound works. We can't wait to see your pitches. So if I can now invite you to switch off your cameras, put yourself on mute, don't go off your browsers, stay with us. We can't wait for your pitches. I will guide you through and give you a long cue for when to switch on your cameras ready to compete, because this is the way this is going to work. Each competitor has 6 minutes. I have a timer here. So I will tell you when we're going to start, and I will run the timer for 6 minutes. When you see my hands come up, I don't know whether competitors, when you're presenting, you can see my hands come up. It is a non-verbal cue that you have about 30 seconds left, but I will have to kick you off and interrupt you if we run out of time. So you have exactly 6 minutes. During that time, the judges are going to judge you and score you on some key criteria. When you've pitched, they will also ask you some questions. I will guide you through a Q&A with the judges, and they will judge you on the following 5 criteria. Firstly, uniqueness and the creativity of your solution. Secondly, your business model and potential for success. Thirdly, the potential impact to the market and also its users. Fourthly, your practicality and interoperability. And lastly, the strength and the diversity of the team. What I love about this is not only do we have a judge's decision, a judge's choice, but the audience also at the end will get to vote. Now, please don't vote. This is for the audience. Please don't vote until the very end of the session, when all 3 competitors have presented their pitches to you. I will then guide you into the poll, which is the time to vote. Please don't vote until that point. The judges in the meantime will be furiously scribbling and judging, no doubt. And at the very, very end, we will pronounce not only an audience winner, but also the grand prize, which is the judges winner as well. So I hope you're as excited as I am. I cannot wait. So let's get straight on with the competition. Ladies, I'm going to invite our first competitor to step up. You saw her recently. It's Chirin Dikku, who is the founder and the CEO of AIM. Chirin, if you could please switch on your camera, remove your mute, and I will, as soon as you're up and you're lit and loud, I will start the clock, and away you go with 6 minutes. So just quickly say hello to me. Again, just want to check we can hear you.
Hi, Julia. Can you hear me?
We can.
I can hear you clearly.
Perfect. So, Chirin, your time starts now.
Hello, everyone, to all women in payments and to our esteemed judges. Good afternoon. I'm very delighted to be shortlisted as a Woman in Payments Unicorn Challenge 2021. I am very delighted to introduce my business. So let's start. Introduction to AIM. So the new age digital bank for expats. Our mission is to build the first 100% new age digital bank to support Middle Eastern expats in the UK and UK nationals living in the Middle East. Our vision is to redefine private banking for the needs of expats. So why the Middle East and why UK expats? For 4 major reasons: market, access to banking, managing funds and transactions, and the gap in the market. As really there does not exist a digital banking services that is catering to that category. Our opportunities lays in fintech adoption, the high rate of adoption, consumer adoption, in particular after what we suffered in COVID, unfortunately. Low barriers to entry, a demand for fintech app and assets and interest in the UK market. As we are aware, many of Middle Eastern high net worth individuals, they are landlords, they own investment properties in the UK, and they need a solution. So that's why we came up with our solution, our product, that is a dedicated banking app for expats to manage their funds and transactions between Middle East and the UK. The application service will be offering convenience, ease of use, and features and benefits such as a digital wallet, physical and virtual card, P2P transfer, card control, currency exchange. Our first product will be targeted to UAE market, AED currency, and all will be done within 3 minutes onboarding for account opening. Our features will be highlighted as fast account opening, digital wallet and card, currency exchange, card control and alert notifications, statements, P2P transfers. Our business model is built around membership. Our membership will be a monthly membership. However, it will be billed annually to our clients. We will be offering at the beginning 3 types of membership. The silver one will be the standard one, and the diamond will be the highest one. In that, the diamond client will receive more services that is not available for silver or gold. For the time being, I'm myself on the leadership team. However, we will be onboarding soon 2 of my ex-colleagues who used to work together. Thank you.
So that was 4 minutes. I'm going to say a beautifully concise pitch. So I'm going to invite thank you very much indeed, Sharon. I'm going to invite the judges to switch on their cameras and remove the mute. Now, Dana, I know you're going to contribute questions via chat, which I will represent on your behalf, but it'd be wonderful to see you can switch your camera on anyway. So we've got 3 judges, as I mentioned. And so, yes, when we all come up and you're all lit and good to go, I now turn to you, and I think I'll start with you, Karen, if you don't mind. Fire away, any questions?
Yeah, perhaps you could just give a little bit more information about the size of the market and how you would approach it.
You will be, hi Karen, you will be surprised actually to know that it is a large market because when we say Middle Eastern expats, like first market will be UAE. However, I have a future expansion to go to cover Saudi market, Egypt market, and Jordanian market. Not only that, in Europe, I have Germany as a market because a lot of Syrian, more than 1 million, a lot of Syrians flew due to the war, unfortunate war, and they seek personalized in their own language banking application to assist them. So it's a huge. However, to answer your questions, going back, I will specifically say about UAE market. So UAE market, we are looking around, I would say, between 400 to 500 clients. Plus, the same applies for UK nationals residing in the UAE or any other place in the Middle East.
Great, Karen, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Great, thank you. So let me bring in Lisa. Lisa, questions for Chiran. Lisa, unfortunately, we can't hear you.
I cannot hear you.
I just wonder whether there's...
My bad. Just remember the mute button.
Do you have any idea? I'm also just going to give you a bit more time, Chiran. Don't worry. Very good.
Sorry, my
Lisa,
bad.
back to you.
Chiran, sorry. I'm just keen to understand where are you in the process at the moment? Because it sounds like you're at the process of setting up your team. What are the key skills that you need to help you move forward?
Very interesting and important questions. I need each and every support to give my project a push going forward. Currently, I need every and each expertise to assist me. Yeah, currently we are at the funding stage. I started to approach investors. Myself, by profession, I'm a private banker, so I have more than 15 years in banking. I used to handle a lot of ultra high net worth individuals' portfolios. So I started to approach these investors to get seed capital.
Okay.
To get things in place and to push things forward, but definitely we need a full team to start operating.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for your question, Lisa.
I will add, sorry, Julia, for interrupting you. I will add something. The UK fintech market is really very advanced. I'm lucky enough to get in touch with the most important and leader in the industry to provide me with the system, with everything I need. So at the moment, I will not have my own system, my own app. I will be using third party.
Oh, okay, that's what I was trying to get to. Thank you.
Brilliant, wonderful. Now, so Dana, if you have a question, do please put it into the chat. I would love to hear your question, and then I can put it to Chiran on your behalf. But Chiran, I don't know whether you can see the chat as well. Dana, do you have any questions for Chiran on chat? Haven't seen anything come through as yet, but so I wondered whether Karen or Lisa, whether you had any follow-up questions. Oh no, I do have a question for you actually. It says, what is your go-to-market? We presume your go-to-market strategy, Sharon.
Okay, so first of all, I will start with the prepaid model card. That is my membership. So I will be focusing on UK market before I do any expansion and first destination will be my UAE, where I have experience and I have network. Okay, how much it will cost me to acquire new customers? Very interesting question. Now, the first year, it will cost me more than what it would cost me in the second or third year, because on the first year, I'm paying for third party, I'm paying a lot of unnecessary or not unnecessary, I would say, I'm paying extra to get the service, the best in the market. Until I have mine, yes, the cost will be much less.
Wonderful, yeah, and it's always that in the question really, isn't it, about the cost of acquisition. I just want to just give the other judges a chance. That anybody has a follow-up question. If not, we have had one come through the chat from the audience, which you're very, very welcome to be asking, by the way. Karen and Lisa, do you have any further questions?
I just had one around the subscription model and whether you've done any market research as to how people would feel about paying a subscription model for the service.
Yes, actually, the traditional, this is what I'm trying to do to redefine private banking. Mm-hmm. So for any Middle Eastern to have a traditional or regular current account, they have to be private banking, and they are required to maintain certain limits, certain balance in their account. And in case, as we know, most of them, they are business owners, they will need the money they will use it for any other investment or business. So not all of them, they are maintaining that amount, and they are being charged more than what I will charge them.
I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap up there. I let you run a little bit longer because we had a few little technical things. We had questions coming through chat as well. Emily, I'm sorry we didn't get to your question. I'll have to keep brutal timekeeping in this. Chiran Dikku from AIM, thank you very much indeed for your pitch. I invite you now, please, if you would, and also our judges, to switch off your camera and also to put yourselves on mute as we welcome our second competitor. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to invite Karen Rudic, who is the CEO of Elementary B, to switch on her camera. So again, we'll just give you a couple of moments just to get settled with the tech and wait for Karen's to be lit and loud is the way I like to describe it. So welcome, Karen. Just say hello to me so we can hear you. Make sure we're all loud and clear.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
We can, perfectly, excellent. So I've reset the timer. Your pitch is going to start right now. So I'm starting and it's over to you.
Okay, great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Rudich, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Elementary B. A little bit about myself. My first .com adventure listed on AIM, and I spent 20 years helping banks make money. In 2013, I founded Firedrake to make more money by helping banks make money, but also to build a fintech integration platform. I sold that in 2019 and founded Elementary B. Now, let's see if, there we go. So what is Elementary B? Elementary B is an affordable working capital solution for mid-sized enterprises operating in a globalized economy. It is being brought to the market by a very strong team of successful entrepreneurs, bankers, and industry experts, all who share a passion for driving material economic growth. You might recognize some of the founders from the likes of Monzo, XCap, and Nickel Curtin, those who have delivered industry first and game changers. Our target market, the mid-sized sector, is comprised of companies with 10 to 100 million pounds of annual turnover, who are the backbone of economies globally. Small by volume, they nevertheless contribute significantly to GDP, generating, for example, over 1/3 in the UK and 60% in emerging economies. In early 2020, we set out to interview a number of mid-sized CFOs and CEOs in all corners of the UK and found that MMEs mainly use Excel and macros to support their wide financial processes, often taking 20 days after month end to have an understanding of their cash positions and payment dependencies. Disintermediated due to their industry and geographical diversity, which makes them expensive to service, they rely on a web of advisors, payment, banking products, and service providers to support their operations, most who are spread across the world because of their heavy import-export needs. The impact is material. Managing their cash, particularly across payments and currencies, is reactive and costly. In 2020, SMEs and MMEs spent $5.1 billion in excess international payment fees. Poor access to the right products, overpayments, and waste on financial processes is estimated to cost up to 5% of their profitability. So a whopping $51.5 billion per year to the British economy. Elementary B has been designed to put globalized mid-sized companies back in control of their financial future. Using the latest technology and integration, our intelligent platform optimizes and supports decision-making and growth. We do this via 5 key pillars: aggregated information and analytics to help forecasting and corporate planning in real time, business insights to help identify the unknowns that can hide in the complexity MMEs experience. For example, could their payments be consolidated by currency across their legal entities? Product and non-product options that can be modeled using a company's own data to plan and understand the full impacts. Rapid, hassle-free product fulfillment, all wrapped within an ecosystem to ensure that MMEs continue to be supported by their web of advisors, but all seeing the same information. Our platform is accessible by an easy-to-use dashboard initially targeted at company CFOs, and their users can use key performance indicators across multiple jurisdictions, in various currencies, and use a range of tools to scenario plan without the need of macros before making any decisions. Think of a CFO who can easily compare the potential impact of a third wave of COVID versus their current trajectory across the world and see the impacts and options on their company data within minutes. The benefits for our client groups are clear. For the MMEs, it's about using technology to help your company move from reactive to proactive working capital management and get the best the market has to offer. For advisors, it's about having a platform to help you support your clients better with more interactive engagement tools. For the product providers, it's about having clean, comprehensive data to assess a client's needs, offer more suitable products, and fulfill those more cheaply for a challenging target market. We are ambitious and have a sticky SaaS model underpinning our business. With 2 initial revenue streams, monthly licenses from mid-sized companies and their advisors, and commissions via our marketplace, we expect to break even in year 3. Our marketplace offering is targeting a wide range of products that span into capital markets and green finance, and we expect 7% market penetration and £7,000 of average annual recurring revenues per client in the UK by year 5. Finally, as our solution is easily deployable into other markets, we have built in 2 international expansions. In terms of our competition, I won't go into the details, but our intelligent data platform and ecosystem model focused on the mid-sized market makes us unique. We may compete against some providers across a feature of our platform, but we like to think that collaboration with them will get us further instead. Elementary B is on track to launch our alpha platform in Q2 this year with test clients. In the same quarter, we'll be fundraising £1 million to deliver MVP by the end of 2021, to be followed by a round A of 11 million. We're planning an IPO exit at the time our international expansion plans begin to take off. Elementary B, transforming financial decision-making because it should be elementary.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Karen Rudich. You were 5 minutes, 37 seconds. So beautifully timed out there. And so welcome back our judges. I'm going to invite Lisa and also Dana and Karen to switch on their cameras. Wondering whether Dana's got a visual, and of course questions through the chat if we can't hear you as well. And so Lisa, let me come to you first of all. I'm just going to reset the clock because we've got 6 minutes of questions. Over to you first of all.
Hi, Karen. That was great to hear. I'm really interested from a CFO perspective. What's it like as an onboarding experience? So from the minute that they work with you, I know you've talked about the licensing agreement, but when actually, what do they need to do to be able to prepare their organization to onboard onto your platform? And when do they start seeing some of the benefits that you've articulated, particularly the point you made about integration into potentially other systems that they already have in place? So what's that whole onboarding experience like?
Yeah, thank you for your question, Lisa. So actually, the most important thing for us is to have an amazing user experience, because we are dealing with what we consider a fairly traditionalist target audience who has engaged a lot with Excel spreadsheets that sit on top of their accounting systems, but they haven't really digitized. So we were using some amazing tools like Xero to say, actually, within 5 minutes, a CFO should be able to log in, create an account, and start looking at some of the value add from our platform, but then maybe just ask them a few things, like, do you want to upload your existing management accounts in the existing format that you have, and actually be able to recognize their information. So we expect for them to be able to get onboarded, to log in, and to see their information within 15 minutes of actively engaging with our technology.
Okay, thank you.
The question, Lisa. Karen, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I get it from the finance director or finance manager's viewpoint, but can you talk to us a little bit more about the advisors and the product providers that support it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Karen. So currently the advisors, we've spoken with a number of accountancy firms, and they currently struggle to properly advise their customers because they lack real-time data. A lot of the time is quite disintermediated. So they've got information for one legal entity, but maybe not other legal entities, even though their head office is in the UK. And it's a lot of the information is riddled with mistakes because, again, it's dependent on its Excel spreadsheets or business intelligence tools sitting on top of a number of different systems where the data doesn't reconcile. So as we were designing what we call our accountants proposition or our advisors proposition, the key pain point that they really wanted to address was if somebody could get rid of the headache of reconciling all the information, then they would be able to help their customers and strategically advise them better, because technology should be able to get rid of all the data aggregation today. Open banking and open accounting are leading the way for that. And the accountancy firms are being squeezed out by the tools that are out there. So they need to also be able to look at the evolution of their business model into strategic advisory. And then obviously for the product providers, I mean, having been in banking myself, it's expensive. It's a very expensive market to service because you need dedicated relationship managers across numerous industries for organizations that have a huge variety of legal entities that they trade out of. So what we thought to do was actually, let's take the power of data, be able to feed that clean data with golden source information into whatever the bank or the product provider's systems need to ingest that format in. And actually, we're able to streamline the product fulfillment, but also the risk assessment and the risk management processes to enable them to offer better products and maybe even the right products as well, because they have clean, digitized data.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question, Karen. And also from Dana in the chat, we saw Dana very briefly. In fact, there we are. So I don't know whether the sound is working, but we're going to hopefully represent you well with a question. So in addition to user experience, what are the key differentiators compared with other WC startups and offerings from incumbents?
Yeah, so actually, I think the massive differentiator is our business model. Most of our competitors are product providers. Or they are a one-off capital providers for organizations. So we've got swoop funding, Capitalize, for example, as well as the big banks. And what we wanted to do was to say, actually, let's welcome all of the product providers, because what we care about is making a difference for the mid-sized company. And it's about their information, their data, because each of them needs a customized solution and might need a variety of products. It's not just about basic working capital products like invoice factoring or lending. What about some of their payment movements across currencies? When we start moving into the capital market space, cancelable FX options, because sometimes they don't necessarily want to buy their currency in case some of the payments or their suppliers or clients are not paying on time or are needing to be front loaded. So I think that is really the big differentiator, is the way that we're approaching the business model. And the second differentiator is that we are, instead of you need to switch to our proposition, we are there to complement their existing setup, from their accounting tools to their advisors, to their lawyers, to the product providers as well. So it's our ecosystem that underpins the differentiator for our success.
So Karen, last question, but you have 10 seconds. How are you integrating with internal and external data sources?
So we are leveraging the beautiful world of API technology. We are working with a number of the integrators. There's no need for us to invent that space anymore.
And I have to stop you there. Unfortunately, we will never hear the end of your sentence, sadly, but I'm sure there'll be some follow-up, no doubt. Karen, have you brought it on time? Thank you very much indeed. So we're going to invite you all to switch off your cameras. We've got Karen Rudich from Elementary B. Thank you for your pitch. Thank you, judges, for your questions. And let's move along to our third and final competitor. Gives me great pleasure as she switches on her camera and removes her mute button. Christina Vila from Cledara. Christina, wonderful to see you. Say hello to me and we'll know if your sound works.
Hello. And hopefully you can already see my screens.
Yes, we can indeed. So I'm just going to reset the clock. So Christina, your time starts now.
Perfect. Well, hi everyone. My name is Christina and I'm the CEO and founder of Cledara. Companies today have a hard time managing SaaS. This means a ton of wasted time, wasted money, and processes that don't scale. In fact, globally, 30% of SaaS spend is wasted on forgotten, unused, or duplicate SaaS. This affects all companies. SaaS is one of the largest expenses in most of tech businesses. And for some companies, it's not just a matter of saving money or optimizing processes, but for some, like fintech companies that need to comply with information security requirements, managing SaaS is a must to keep them in business. And most companies in the world, including me, before building Cledara, we were trying to manage all these on spreadsheets. And this won't get easier for companies anytime soon. In the last 12 months, any company that wasn't already in the cloud has now moved to the cloud. And this has changed the way we discover, buy, manage, and cancel SaaS. Previously, software was purchased centrally by IT managers. And today it's done remotely by anyone in the business with a need and a credit card. This and all this essentially makes SaaS really, really hard to manage. And this is where Cledara comes in. Cledara helps companies discover, buy, manage, and cancel their SaaS. With Discover, it's all about helping people in companies understand what SaaS is already in the business and helping them access it. And if they need something new, we help them choose what is best for them with data-driven recommendations. If a team member wants to buy something new, they make a request through Cledara, get approval, and get allocated a unique virtual card to pay for it. This means that all software is paid directly by the company and not employee credit cards. It also means that companies approve software before it's purchased in a really fast and easy way. Once you buy SaaS, then you have to manage it. And you have to onboard and offboard employees, get invoices, match them to payments, reconcile them, do bookkeeping, and make sure that you're actually using the SaaS you're paying for. And we do all that automatically, saving our customers tens of hours every month. And finally, once you no longer need your SaaS subscription, you need to cancel it. And with Cledara, you can do it in one click. And this saves a typical Cledara customer up to £90,000 and 240 hours of manual work every year. On the left, you see Grace, a management accountant from Unmind. They started using Cledara to manage their SaaS 8 months ago. Since then, they've doubled their headcount. And Grace told us that despite that growth, they've not had to hire any more people to their finance team because Cledara automates so much of their work. In the middle, you see Adam, the Chief Information Security Officer for Railsbank. Railsbank has to comply with financial regulation in dozens of countries around the world. When they acquired Wirecard's European business, Cledara helped them get fast visibility into their SaaS and manage the regulatory compliance. And on the right, you see Pedro from Havaianas. They are a $6 billion business that is moving to the cloud. Pedro drives digital transformation for them, and they set up Cledara to help them manage all the new SaaS that they are using as part of this transition. Today, Cledara is live in 28 countries. We've grown more than 20 times since the beginning of last year. And we've just signed a deal with a US banking partner, and we'll be live there by Q3, which essentially triples our addressable market. We were named one of the Hot 10 in the 2020 FinTech 50, Best European SaaS Startup by SaaStock, and one of the top female-funded enterprise SaaS companies outside of the US by Melinda Gates Fund, Pivotal Ventures, and M12. And how do we make money? Well, we are a SaaS product ourselves, and our customers pay a monthly fee for access to our platform. Also, when customers use the Cledara cards to pay for software, MasterCard pays us a commission called interchange revenue, which is a percentage of the transaction. And also, we have partnerships with SaaS vendors that provide discounts and benefits to our customers and pay us to share their, and they share their recurring revenue with us. And we have big ambitions, and this is why we have a great team to deliver it. Previously, myself, I helped EBRD, a global development bank, modernize their processes and technology. Then I ran operations for a fast-growing fintech startup called DuPay, where I saw firsthand both the power and the challenges of SaaS, and essentially that's why I started Cledara. Brad is my co-founder. We worked together at DuPay, and he was employee number 7 at Railsbank and led their international expansion. Rob is our CMO. He led international marketing for eBay and PayPal. And we also have a mathematician, a physics PhD, a former US auditor, auditor from the US government, sorry, and an English guy that taught himself Russian to do stand-up comedy on Russian TV, just to mention some of the people that we have in the team. And and
Christina, that is your 6 minutes. So I'm going to have to ask you to stop there if you don't mind. And thank you very much indeed for your pitch and your presentation. If we could ask you please to take and then we could got more space for the judges in their questions, that would be wonderful. And of course, at that moment, I invite the judges to light their cameras, take themselves off mute if they can, and then look forward to questions. And Dana, I'm keen to hear your question first. I feel I should represent your questions first of all, rather than at the end of the three. So if you do have a question, please do type it in. And as soon as we get Dana's question, I will start the clock for the 6-minute time period. So no pressure there, Dana. We're going to hear your question first of all. And then, of course, no doubt Karen and Lisa will have plenty of questions to follow as well. So let's just see if Dana's question's coming in. If not, of course, we can always go to another. Here we go. I knew she'd be right off the bat. So here we go, 6 minutes on the clock now. How are you integrating with internal? And sorry, no, that was a previous question. So how do you handle, let me start that again. Actually, timer start again. So how do you handle compliance?
Yes, so essentially at the moment when customers make a request for new software through Cledara, we trigger the process by which they can, write an assessment of the software, and that can be pushed either to the, if they already have internally somebody that handles that, they can push it to them to do it, or they can do it themselves at that point. And then what we create is like a whole database or like a repository of all those assessments for all the different software tools that you have, and then we trigger like the renewal reminders for when you need to do those assessments again, because some will be maybe annually, some will be semi-annually, depending on the criticality of that software. And then over time, what we are doing, of course, is the more of these assessments that get completed, then we can start also suggesting what is the right, let's say, risk assessment or a starting point of risk assessment for a particular tool. That then, depending on your risk appetite, you can either make like edit.
Great, wonderful. Thank you for the question, Dana, and thank you for the answer, Christina. And I'm going to bring in Lisa now at this point. Lisa, your question, please.
I'm really interested in your go-to-market and who the customer is within the organization, because there was a number of different areas that you mentioned, from technology right through to finance teams, and what's your sort of right route in?
Yeah, so at the moment, we are going in through the finance department, because what we've noticed is, especially at the companies that we are targeting at the moment, which are 150 to 300 people, those ones, they already have an established finance team, and they don't yet have a system in place to manage SaaS, and naturally it tends to fall on the hands of finance, because they are the ones that need to reconcile the payments and do actually something and gather the invoices to, if there is any VAT that needs to be claimed back. And they are the ones that want a solution, because at the moment they are just chasing people all over the place, and sometimes they don't even know what are some of the items on bank statements, like who is actually the owner of these. So they are the ones that are, let's say, our internal champions within the companies. And usually what happens is when they bring the rest of the stakeholders, they tend to also love it, because this is from an IT side. Usually they also don't have visibility over, the licenses that people have and are they using them or not. And also the employees themselves, they actually love it, because they can go somewhere where they can say, all right, these are all the software we have already available, which means that I don't need to go and try to figure out what we are using. It's just very simple. And if it's not there, I know that I can very easily request it.
Great, wonderful. Thank you for your question, Lisa. And Karen, your question, please.
Sure. Well, Lisa stole my question, so I'll ask it.
Great minds. Great minds.
So I wondered if you could just talk a bit more about your expansion plans, because it's quite aggressive, the thinking behind that and how you're going to manage that.
Yes, so we already have customers that want us to be in the US, right? And we had a wonderful opportunity to have, with a banking partner in the US that's been super supportive, and we are actually in the middle of integrating with them so that we can start providing the service there. And initially, we will do most of the work from the UK, but then as soon as we validated with the first customers, then we will establish the operation in the US as well. But at the moment, like currently, we have to actually turn down US customers because we do not have yet the licenses to operate there, which is a pity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. And I just wondered, we do have a little bit of time for any follow-up questions that either of you, any of you may have. So Dana, again, do please use the chats to post the question. We've got about a minute and a half left to go, or Lisa or Karen. Any thoughts, any questions, anything else coming through?
Yeah, in your written submission, you mentioned the intersection of two mega trends, the migration of enterprise software and the changing nature of the workplace. I mean, could you just explain a bit more about the changing nature of the workplace and how you think that impacts your offer?
Yes, so of course now we are all working from home, right? And for some companies this will remain, and it may not be a full-time thing, but it may be giving much more flexibility to people, which means that we are no longer all in the same building, where maybe it's easier to get shout across the room, hey, what do you use to do this? Or hey, can I go quickly to the finance department to see if they can pay for something on my behalf, or my director maybe has a corporate card and they can pay for something I need in terms of a subscription to software you need in the business. And essentially that, when you are working remotely, doesn't work. Either you take a picture and you send it, which is not very secure, or you need to put it in your own personal card, and then you have to expense it to the business. So through Cledara, you get access to the virtual cards with these pre-approved budgets for the software that you need to bring into the company, which means that it's much more secure, it's faster. Also, the people feel.
And I'm afraid I have to stop you there. I'm afraid that is our 6 minutes up, and David, your questions come through, but sadly we're out of the 6 minute time. But Cristina Vila from Cledara, thank you very much indeed for your presentation. Judges, again, thank you for your questions. So we're now going to move on to the moment of truth. This is when the judges get to decide on their winner. So judges, what I'm going to ask you to do is, you have a separate form. Please don't go into polls, please don't go into chat. You have a separate voting process to follow. So I'm going to invite you to switch off your cameras, if you would, just while you do your vote. And I'm going to invite the audience, because you also have a voice we are dying to hear. So as you'll see in the polls section of the session, you have your audience choice. You can choose your winner. So I invite you now to select your winner. Is it Chirin Diku of AIN, Karen Rudic of Elementary B, or Cristina Vila of Cledara? Please make your choice now, and we'll be able to see the results when you have voted. And in the meantime, the judges, of course, are completing their submissions. They, no doubt, are scratching their heads, referring to their questions they've come through. And may I just compliment all three ladies on your pitches. Crystal clear, really, really helpful. And also, may I say, also very, very timely. It's always a great sign when we run out of Q&A. I always think I've done a lot of these sort of Dragon's Den unicorn challenge pitches before, and the worst result is when people go, no further questions. So plenty of questions, plenty of follow-up, no doubt, and I'm sure the audience have enjoyed it too. So I'm just waiting literally for the instruction from the Women in Payments group, who is going to come back to me electronically via a private channel we have on WhatsApp, as you would probably imagine. So I'm literally just waiting to hear when the judges' results have been tallied, and the results are in, when they have declared a winner. And of course, in the meantime, we're watching the results come in. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to vote on the audience poll as well. I've literally just hit reveal results on the audience poll, and so we're just going to give another minute or two while we wait for the judges to come in and give everybody in the audience a chance to vote as well, before we declare not only the audience winner, but also the judges winner as well. So it is no mean feat, and actually, as a female entrepreneur myself, I know how much work goes into not simply setting up a business, identifying the challenge, building teams, building technologies, propositions, go-to-market strategies, everything we've talked about, and obviously the challenge of raising finance. So if we have any investors in the audience, pay close heed, and also we are doing everything we possibly can to encourage greater investment into female-led businesses and founded businesses, but also the amount of effort it takes to pull together a pitch. It is getting the pitch down, rehearsed and ready to present to you. Takes work behind the scenes, and I compliment all of you on your pitches as well. So we're just waiting for the final judges' results to come through, and then we're going to declare a winner. But I think we can safely say that we can declare the audience winner. So I'm going to invite Karen Rudic from Elementary B. Karen, switch on your camera if you would, and I can now officially reveal that 46.7% of the vote declared you the audience winner. So congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you everyone who voted. I really appreciate it.
So now what's going to be interesting to think about is, I'm just literally, while we're here, just thinking how are we doing? So we have got the result in, and so I'm going to ask you, Karen, if you would switch off your camera. I'm just going to create a little bit moment of drama here. So I am just going to just clarify the results to make sure that I've got this 100% correct, because it was quite close actually. So I am going to announce now that the winner of the judges' vote is Christina Villa from Cloudera. Christina, please switch on your camera, and I'd invite the judges as well, if you would, to switch on your cameras as well. And I'd love to hear from Christina, and also judges, if you could please put your cameras on as well. It was a very tight vote actually, but well done, Christina, and many, many, many congratulations. What would you like to say to the judges?
Well, I would, first of all, thank you very much for reviewing what we do here at Credara. And I think that, it's great to be able to share it with you and get your, thoughtful questions, and hopefully being able to spend some time with you or some of your colleagues on, potentially where we can take that forward, because it is working. And I think it's clear that the companies need it. And I'm sure that with some of you, we'll be able to bring that to even more companies out there. So very excited about that. And obviously I want to also, congratulate Karen and Shirin for the amazing pitches that they have delivered, and you, Julia, for being a great, how do you call this? Like the steward of the session.
Pleasure. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'd just like to take a moment to not only congratulate you, but also to recognise the work of the judges as well. Thank you for all your questions. Dana, I know we've had a few technical challenges hearing you, but having you participate on chat's been very, very important. Karen and Talisa, thank you very much indeed for your very thoughtful questions and for stepping up to judge the competition. Christina, you keep very auspicious company with the alumni of the Women in Payments Unicorn Challenge winners. So many congratulations. And also to Karen Rudic for winning the Audience Choice Awards as well. So let's invite you now, if you would, to switch off your cameras and also to put yourselves on mute, as I just go into the final remarks for the conference today as well. And in order to do that, I just have to thank a few more people. We just want to thank the prize donors. As I said at the beginning, it basically means that Christina will get up to 60 minutes with ACI Worldwide, Amex, Barclays, Deloitte, HSBC, JP Morgan, Lloyds, MasterCard, NatWest, Santander, Taylor Westing, Western Union, and Worldline as well. And of course, I will invite everybody who's been participating and the entire Women in Payments community to champion these women on social media. So when you see on the Women in Payments LinkedIn and on Twitter, is please applaud, champion and herald these extraordinary women for their work as well. And we look forward to watching their success with great interest and also joy as well. So let's wrap up the day of the Thursday of the Women in Payments Symposium. It's been a joy as always. For all our breakout panelists and commentators, thank you again once more. Thank you all for joining us very much indeed. And we do have an exciting day tomorrow, because tomorrow is we announce the award winners, the Women in Payments Awards. We have the grand presentation of the awards, but also we have a closing keynote from an amazing speaker. I've seen her speak. I know her actually personally. She's a real inspiration. Her name is Mandy Hickson, who is a former RAF pilot, and she's written a book called The Hickson Experience from the Frontline. It's called An Officer and Not a Gentleman. She's a very inspiring speaker. It is absolutely worth, what an amazing way to close out the conference. So come back tomorrow. We'd love you to join us for the awards, because we want, a bit like today, we want to champion, herald and support, and frankly just shout for the rooftops for everybody, the women in payments and those who are winning awards and accolades left, right and centre. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 2 p.m. British Standard Time. Thanks so much for joining us. I've been Julia Streets. See you tomorrow.